Abraham, thank you. Everything, all the topics were just so awesome. Love the way how everything's flowing.
That's because you're out here on the leading edge and you're reaching for fine-tuning, and that's what we're having today, fine-tuning.
So a lot of the questions I had were touched on, and I wanted to talk about something that I'm not comfortable talking about and like to have maybe some breakthroughs there, which is relationships.
Do you believe that you have already put your request in?
Yes.
Did you hear anything we just said?
Yes.
We just spent quite a bit of time talking about staying off the uncomfortable topic. Why would you introduce a topic that you know you have resistance about into a moment in time when what you're wanting to achieve is alignment and being resistance free? That's exactly like saying, I know the path to what I want is to have no resistance, but I'd like to talk about this subject that I have enormous resistance about. Because I'm human, and that's the way we're oriented. We think you have to take a problem and wrestle it to the ground and kill it, and that's what I'd like to do right now. We say you don't wrestle it to the ground and kill it. What you do is make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. So let's together work toward diffusing the resistance around this subject by staying off that subject. Does that make sense? But it's not your tendency, is it? Your tendency is to talk about it till you feel better. Do you ever do that? Do you ever talk about something that's bothering you until you feel better? Or do you just grind yourself down until all you want to do is sleep or something? Does it ever happen? We're really asking you. Do you have a technique that we don't know about? Well, we'll talk about relationships with you. We want to talk about the most meaningful relationship, which is that with your inner being. That's not what you were going for, but that's the relationship that matters the most, because in having that relationship at your fingertips at all times, then you have access to anything and everything else that you want. So that's what you want to go for first. And as you sat down here, you were describing yourself as experiencing that satisfaction. In other words, you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And that's why we know that you think that, therefore, this might be a good time as you're least resistant as possible to maybe approach another subject. So we'll play with you a little bit and see if it helps.
Okay.
Or we might just turn out to be right. The laws of the universe may not bend for you. You may not be the exception.
Well, I get that the more I can focus within contrast, which is variety, that which I like, appreciate, and I can just keep focusing on that, then good things you just keep getting wowed.
Well, we don't think you have any problem understanding that you have selected from the universe and from your personal experience a magnificent relationship. We know that you know that. But what you don't know is that you can have it.
There's resistance.
And the reason that you don't know that you can have it is because you're basing what you think you can have on what you have now or what you have had before.
Yes, so there's triggers of memories.
And what you have had or what you are having now feels like such a big part of your experience. But here's a piece. This is going to help you a lot. When you are experiencing something, we're going back to some of the first conversation we had here today. So follow this reasoning just a little bit. If you inherently believe that you must suffer and sacrifice in order to get what you want, and you're not getting what you want, doesn't that cause you to think that you have to suffer and sacrifice more? Isn't that sort of what leads you toward believing that you have to struggle in order to get what you want, even though it's contrary to the universe and the universal laws? Did you follow that? There's a belief in humans that says, I'm not worthy just because I'm here. I wasn't born worthy. I was born a sinner. I don't get to have what I want. I have to pay the price for it. And so you're oriented in that direction, and it's taking a little bit of time to shift into the I can be or do or have whatever I want. And so this is why we introduce you. We'd like you to meet your inner being who knows everything about you, and who adores you, and who is vying on your behalf in all moments, who has listened to you as you've lived through life, and each and every nuanced, subtle, or blatant asking that has emanated from you as a result of what you are living has been received by your inner being and understood. And your inner being, who really is you, has become that, who stands now with all of that prosperity and all of that abundance in relationship, stands there being that, knowing that, being that, and is standing with law of attraction responding to that vibrational offering, and has attracted the cooperative components for everything that you've asked for, right down to the finest detail. Now, you all heard that. Do you believe that? That's a real thing. That's who you are. That's who you are. So now, how are you going to feel like that? How are you going to feel like that? Just one thought at a time. By having a choice of making fun of someone or not. By having a choice of being mad at someone or not. By practicing the emotions that indicate your connection with your inner being as you stay off any subject that you are having trouble with, until you and your inner being are often feeling the same thing in the same moment. You know how when you know you're there, you're getting goosebumps during conversations? You're feeling thrilled about things. The feeling of love just wells up in you easily. These things happen to you all the time. You are so often at one with your inner being until you get on a subject where you've practiced deprivation. That's the whole point that we're making here. Stay off the subjects where you have so keenly practiced deprivation or not having what you want, and focus on things. People bring up their dog or things that are easy to feel good about, until you've shown yourself that you're in step 5 much of the time. Contrast is there, but it doesn't keep you from loving yourself, and it doesn't keep you from expecting good things to come to you. If we were to ask you straight out, do you believe that good things should come to you? What is your answer?
Yeah. Yes.
And what is your basis of knowing that?
Good things has been coming, so it's kind of looking backwards.
So this is a little treacherous here, because if your basis for believing that all good things are coming to you is on the basis of those good things that have come, you're in treacherous territory, because some of the good things you want haven't come. That's a little shaky. Did you get what we mean by that? So when we ask you, what is your basis for believing that you can be or do or have anything? What's your basis for believing that? I understand the laws of the universe. I understand about the law of attraction. I've demonstrated to myself that when I'm focused upon something and I feel good about it, I have an open vortex and in I go, or out it comes to me. The basis has to be that thing that's always stable, not that thing that sometimes you've got it and sometimes you don't. Did you hear that? If you're using the criteria of what you have lived or the success that you've already had as your basis for believing that all things can come to you, that's shaky ground. Can you hear that? Do you hear that? Does that make sense to you? This is a big piece. This is what's stuck in your vibrational craw is stuck in almost everybody's vibrational craw. What is profoundly more solid than what you have already manifested? What's more solid? What is more real than what you've already manifested?
I know the laws, and when I meditate...
Don't distract us from this important... What is more solid? What is more powerful? What is more real than what is already manifested? The vortex is. The vortex is, but you don't know that the vortex is, because you can't see it or hear it or smell it or taste it or touch it. And so Esther's using volume to try to get your attention of something that we can feel that you're right on the brink of understanding. In other words, if you can accept the reality of this vortex, and the help that your inner being is with all of the combinations of things that are happening to you, how can you not know that well-being is dominant when you live on a planet that spins in its orbit? How can you not know? Are you really so jaded that you just take that for granted, that that's just something that just happens? You don't see that as a blessing to you that you are deserving of? You see? And so, what is more solid than what is manifested?
The vortex.
And the momentum of what it means. What is the vortex? What is it?
So when I meditate, sometimes I can get to that place.
But what is the vortex? See if you can find, let's flesh it out. Let's make it real. It is the vibrational essence of everything that is to come. But it is also the vibrational essence of the stability of everything that is. It is a vibrational stability. It is source energy. It is the energy that keeps your earth spinning in its orbit. It is a reality that while you can't see it, the effects of it are everywhere around you, you see. You have to be able to believe in the power of this vibrational energy. You have to believe in the power and the knowledge of your inner being. And you have to believe that your inner being knows about you and cares about you and is vying for you, rooting for you, acting on behalf of you, and most of all, holding itself in solidarity to all that you want, so that as law of attraction responds to that, everything that you have ever wanted is already ready for you to cooperate with. So, really, what's the relationship you're looking for?
With my inner being.
With me, the relationship I'm looking for is that stability, that knowledge, that love, that fullness. And from that place, then all the people you want to play with will come and play with you. All those other important relationships will come too. Were any of you moved with any of the things that you heard just now? Can you feel the bigness and the realness of this? It is so real. And any other conversation you're having about things that you want is really secondary to that. So what are you up to these days? Aligning. What's most important to you? Aligning. What do you care most about in all the world? Aligning. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Alignment, 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 alignment. Why is alignment so important to you? Because it's attraction, 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 attraction. And I got an attraction thing going on over there. I've got an inner being who is attracting on my behalf big time. My inner being is attracting everything I have ever wanted and all of the variety of combinations. There's big time attraction going on my behalf. Attraction, 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 attraction. And the only way I can get to that attraction is through aligning. Because that's going on, but I can attract in opposition to that. I can worry. I can not see that. I can defy that. I can move in opposition to that. I can deny that that even exists. I can make this more real than this, even though this is frivolous and happens so quickly, comes and goes and comes and goes. This is steady. This is forever. This is eternal. This is who I am. This is who I am. This is how I feel. I am always love, and I'm always clarity, and I'm always happy. I'm always joyful. That's really worth caring enough about that you stay off the subjects that you know won't let you go there. And then everything else takes care of itself. Because you already did step one, and this is step two. This that we've been describing, that's step two. It's huge. It's big. It's real. It's yours. What are you going to do about it? Step three. I'm going to get happy any way I can. I'm going to look for reasons to feel good. I'm going to stop fussing about things that don't matter. I'm going to stop comparing myself with everyone and either me or them coming up short. I'm going to focus. I'm going to focus. I'm going to focus on what love is. I'm going to focus myself into the feeling of love. I'm going to live today reaching for, by walking into a new segment. Esther takes out her book. She's walking into a segment and she writes a page. And her page says, I feel this, and I feel this, and I feel this, and I feel this. I feel appreciation about this, this, this. I acknowledge the value in this, this, this. I'm in love with this, this, this. I adore this, this, this. I'm salivating over this, this, this. Just those statements as she's walking into a segment. She's out ahead of it. She's not taking any of the old stuff. She's out ahead of it, out ahead of it, out ahead of it, out ahead of it. And then, because she's a cooperative component, now all those cooperative components that have already been lined up start playing with her. Oh, in such interesting fashion. You're living it too. You just don't always know that you are. But when you start with that premise, when you start with what you really know, then everything else falls into place. And then people say, how do you get everything that you want all the time? Why are you the lucky one? Why are so many blessings raining down on you? And you want to say they're raining down on all of us because we've summoned the blessings. We've got a vortex full of them. And the cooperative components have already been gathered. But some of us have figured out how to cease the resistance and to begin the deliberate allowing of letting it in. We figured out how to open the door. Yeah. Helpful?
Very helpful.
There is great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.